Every morning at exactly 8 o'clock, a black luxury car stopped beside the same quiet road. People noticed it, but most did not care. The car was expensive, clean, and always driven by the same serious-looking driver. But the strange thing was that the rich man inside never went to an office, hotel, or restaurant. He simply got out, walked to an old wooden bench beside the road, and sat there alone. His name was Daniel Carter, a billionaire businessman who owned hotels, shopping centers, and several large companies. He had more money than he could ever spend. Yet every morning, he sat on that old bench with tired eyes and a sad face. Some people thought he was waiting for someone. Others believed he had lost his mind. The truth was much simpler and much more painful. 3 years earlier, Daniel had lost his wife, Emma, after a sudden illness. She had been the only person who could make him forget about money and business. After her death, Daniel became a different man. He stopped laughing. He stopped enjoying family dinners. Even his huge mansion felt empty. Emma had once told him, "Daniel, one day when we have enough money, I want to help ordinary people. Promise me you will never forget them." Daniel had promised. After she died, he tried to keep that promise by giving money to charities. But something inside him still felt empty. One day, he discovered an old photograph in Emma's drawer. It showed the two of them sitting on the same road where he now spent his mornings. Years ago, before Daniel became extremely rich, they had stopped there during a simple road trip. Emma had laughed that day because Daniel had spilled coffee on his shirt. He remembered her laughter. That memory was the reason he returned to the road every day. Daniel's driver, Mr. Harris, often watched him from the car. One morning, he finally asked, "Sir, why do you keep coming here?" Daniel looked at the empty road and quietly replied, "Because this is the last place where I remember being truly happy." Mr. Harris said nothing. Then one cold morning, something unexpected happened. A little girl appeared near the bench. She was probably around 9 years old. Her clothes were old but clean. She carried a small school bag and held a paper bag in one hand. Her shoes looked worn and one of the laces was missing. She noticed Daniel sitting alone. Instead of walking past him like everyone else, she stopped. "Are you waiting for someone?" she asked. Daniel looked at her. "No," he answered. The girl studied his face. "Then why do you look like someone stole your lunch?" Daniel was surprised. For the first time in years, someone had spoken to him without knowing his wealth. He almost smiled but stopped himself. "My lunch is not the problem," he said. The girl sat on the other end of the bench. "My problem is bigger," Daniel replied. She thought for a moment and asked, "Did someone steal your money?" Daniel shook his head. "Then you are lucky." Daniel looked at her with confusion. "Why?" "Because if someone steals your money, you can buy more." Daniel stared at her. The little girl opened her paper bag and pulled out half of a sandwich. "My mother gave me this for school," she said. "I am hungry, but I can share it with you." Daniel had eaten in some of the most expensive restaurants in the world, but nobody had offered him food with such innocent kindness. He smiled softly. "You should eat it." The girl shook her head. "You look hungrier than me." Daniel laughed. It was a small laugh, but it was real. Mr. Harris, watching from the car, almost couldn't believe what he heard. He had not heard Daniel laugh like that in years. The girl smiled proudly. "See? You can laugh." Daniel looked at her. "What is your name?" "Mia." "And why are you not in school?" "I am going now," she said. "I was just curious about you." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "Curious about me?" "Yes. You sit here every day like a sad statue." Daniel laughed again. Mia stood up and pointed at him. "You should stop being a statue." Then she ran toward the school. Daniel watched her disappear down the road. For the first time in 3 years, the bench did not feel completely empty. The next morning, Daniel returned. But this time, he was not waiting for a memory. He was waiting to see Mia again. Mia came running toward the bench the next morning. "You came back," she shouted. Daniel smiled. "I come here every day." "I know," Mia said. "But yesterday you looked sad. Today you look only half sad." Daniel laughed. "How can you tell? I am good at reading faces." Daniel looked at her worn school bag. You are good at reading faces, but your bag looks like it survived a war. Mia looked down at it and laughed. It is old, but my mother says things don't need to be new to be useful. Daniel became quiet. Her words reminded him of Emma. Emma had always said almost the same thing. Mia sat beside him and asked, "Why do you come here every day?" Daniel took a deep breath. "My wife and I used to come here. She died a few years ago." Mia's smile disappeared. "I am sorry." "She loved helping people," Daniel said. "After she died, I thought giving money to people would make me feel better. But it didn't." Mia looked at him for several seconds. Then she said something Daniel never expected. "Maybe you don't need to give people money." Daniel looked at her. "What do I need to give them?" "Your time." Daniel was silent. Mia continued, "My mother says when people are sad, sometimes they don't need money. They just need someone to sit with them." Those simple words touched something deep inside him. For years, Daniel had tried to solve his sadness with money, businesses, and charity checks. But this little girl had understood something that adults around him had failed to see. Daniel smiled. "You are very wise for a 9-year-old. Mia shrugged. "I have a lot of practice." Daniel laughed again. From that day forward, their friendship grew. Daniel learned that Mia lived with her mother in a small rented apartment nearby. Her mother worked long hours cleaning offices. They did not have much, but Mia always came to school with a smile. Daniel never told Mia that he was a billionaire. He simply became the strange man on the bench who listened to her stories. She told him about school, her teacher, her dreams, and the funny things her classmates did. Daniel told her stories about Emma. Slowly, the sadness inside him became lighter. One morning, Mia asked, "What would your wife want you to do if she were here?" Daniel looked toward the road. "She would tell me to stop sitting here alone." Mia nodded seriously. "She sounds smart." She was. "Then listen to her." Daniel laughed. That afternoon, Daniel made an important decision. He did not simply want to give money away anymore. He wanted to create something that would help people every day. With Mia's words in his mind, he started a small community project. He opened a free learning center near the neighborhood where Mia lived. Children could study there, use computers, receive school supplies, and get help with homework. He also created a job program for struggling parents. Daniel did not put his name on the building. Instead, he named it the Emma Carter Community Center. When Mia saw the building the first time, she looked at Daniel. "Did you do this?" Daniel smiled. "We did." Mia shook her head. "I only gave you half a sandwich." Daniel laughed. "That sandwich was worth more than you know." Years later, the bench beside the road was still there. Daniel still visited it, but he was no longer alone. Sometimes Mia came with her books. Sometimes her mother joined them. Sometimes children from the community center played nearby. Daniel never forgot the morning when a poor girl had stopped beside a sad billionaire. She had no expensive clothes, no powerful family, and no money to give him. She only had a small sandwich and a few honest words. And somehow, those words gave him something his billions could never buy. A reason to laugh again. Because sometimes the richest person in the world is not the person with the most money. Sometimes it is the person who finally learns what truly matters.